Okay, hello everyone. Today we do something different. We are talking English in a way that we can have a wider audience, and everything starts from weird things that happen when you put out a video. And a few days ago we got a request from a guy on 2-on-1 control from the back on the arm, that it's very basic control that you can see in wrestling, rapping, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and maybe also in MMA. It's a very solid technique, very solid principle, and we had the request and we answered because the question was which hand we can leave out free in a fight. And it was nice to answer, but then people start to questioning the technique, that is not the best technique, that the guy can do a lot of things. And I'm not saying that questions are a problem, because questions are jewels that allow to grow, to those who get the answers and for those that give the answers. And the problem is that when you make a question based on dogmas or prejudice, so we are going to address some of the little things that we had in that video, and we hope to make it in the best way possible. And because I think that giving answers and not indulge in religion words is one of the best things that we have to do. And as teachers or students, we owe it to ourselves, because we are working on getting skills that can save our life. And if we are teachers, we owe it to our students that deserve to get the best tools and the best approach to such a delicate topic. And I want to give you just a little backstory about how, in my humble opinion, we should approach things when we do this kind of work. A few days ago, I looked at a video of Todd Fossey, IDS, Integrative Defensive Strategies. Take a look to this guy work. And he was showing basically a single leg defense. And I never saw this kind of defense, and it's not what I teach, it's not what I've been taught. But when I saw this technique, the first thing I said and I wrote is, okay, I got to try this. And this should be, but not because of me, because it should be for everybody, the real approach. You cannot judge something or refuse something if you don't try, if you don't test it. Okay, of course, there are things that are shit. Okay, if I teach and I show you a gun disarm with my hands, you don't have to try that it doesn't work and it's bullshit. But in other cases, before giving evaluation, before judging, be sure you understand what you see and give it a try. Okay, if you give it a try, it's okay. You don't like it or you don't think it works, good. It can work. It's a tool for you and it's a tool for your student. So, okay, we get back to the situation. We try to do it as live as we can, because we are still not so hot. Okay, the control was this. I was controlling him. Okay, this is a control. I'm holding him. Okay, let's start thinking about why I'm controlling this. One of the arguments was there are better controls. Okay, so it can be this, it can be this, it can be this, it can be rear naked choke that everybody seems to like, and there are different controls. Okay, I give you an incredible clue. I haven't always and all the time the opportunity and the possibility to choose what I want to do, okay? Because if you put this situation to the extreme, there is nothing that is worth in fighting. Because in self-defense, I don't want to fight. So if I can choose, I'm not fighting. No fighting, no technique. But in fighting, in real violence, we cannot always choose. We cannot always dictate the pace or the solution. We have to adapt. And that's the first thing. Then we can talk about how I get in some situation or how I get in some controls. Because without talking about the technique, we are always here, we can say, oh, yes, rear naked choke is better. Okay, I'm with him, we are fighting, blah, 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 blah. How do I get to a rear naked choke? Like this? No fucking way. Okay? For every situation, I get to that point according to an evolution of fighting. I'm not looking for one solution. If I'm fighting with him and he's banded, I'm not going behind him because I want to make the rear naked choke or whatever it is. If he is here, maybe I'm gonna get a guillotine or any kind of control I can do from here. Or if he is, if he is much taller than me, as a sense that I try to get for rear naked choke, it has no sense because I'm gonna get a struggle. I might bring him down, but it can take time. So any situation can evolve in a different technique, in a different approach. Plus, another thing that seems to be one of the worst idea in our world, the idea that there is one technique, or there are techniques that work all the time, 100% guarantee. Guys, this is bullshit. This is one of the worst idea out there. One of the most dangerous thing that you can learn or you can be taught. Okay? There is no technique that is not some way connected to the reality of fighting and to the evolution of any violent encounter. Okay? For every action, there's a reaction. For every move, there is a counter move. And for every counter move, there is another counter move. There is only one thing that is the regular rule working all the time in combat, that you have to adapt. And if you are not able to adapt and you don't possess the tools to adapt, you're gonna get a hard time. And that's a key point that you have to keep in mind every time that you train. Okay, then we just discussed about some techniques and some of the critics that we had on our technique. He said that, okay, controllami un braccio, cosa me? Quella che mi tiene il braccio. Okay. One thing, they said, he has a free arm, so I can move. Okay? So this is a problem. Okay. When he gets to Berhag, have two free hands. But guess what? We see people getting down with two hands free. We see people slamming people down. We see takedowns. And we see people that move and are not able to do anything with this hand. So the fact that you have one hand or two hands doesn't make anything. They say rear naked choke, it's a safer technique, or whatever you like, okay? I put him in the rear naked choke, okay? If I'm gonna look at him and look with him at the sunset, he has a good chance to do the rear naked choke and choke me, okay? But then guess what? And you know that because we learn how to defend the rear naked choke. Do you think that when you apply the rear naked choke, I'm gonna just wait for going to sleep? No. What do? We're gonna fight. We're gonna try to change the situation. So if he comes to me and he tries to choke me, I'm gonna fight with him, okay? I'm gonna fight with him. But again, I have also the free hands. So he put me rear naked choke. He tried to come. I take. Ooh, boom, boom. Now I got a fucking knife. There is no technique 100% guarantee. Especially if you do it in a shit way, or especially if you expect an outcome without moving, without fighting, without changing the approach to fighting. So we got another clue. It says, because people think that we just spend the day trying to erase the sand from the beach, okay? They say, when you lift one hand, or when you have one hand, it can move inside, okay? Really? It can move? Or, if I leave one hand, it can, not that much in that way, it can move inside again. Really? It can move? I show you another thing. Put me a rear naked choke. Whoa! I can still fucking move. He moves, I move. He throws a punch, I counter his punch. It's fighting. It's not chess. And it's kind of similar with chess sometimes. Okay? If you think that nobody's going to react to your perfect move, you're gonna get a lot of troubles. Okay, guys? Again, I'm here. Okay? I'm feeling him. Okay? I'm feeling him. I'm not walking into the sunset. We are not saying, okay, cheese, let's take a picture. I'm with him. I'm with him. He tries to move. I move with him. Try to move. I move with him. This is what fucking happened. He just left on the floor. Okay? He moves. I move. I'm not watching the sunset. The same thing. He can move with his free hand. Okay. Everybody says that he has a free hand and can do a lot of things. Okay. I take this objection and I reply to this objection. If he can do this in this situation, he can do that in every situation where he has one arm free and where we control the other arm. And why it can happen? It can happen because he can try. It's not something that normally happens, but he can make it. And we have to adapt. We have to adapt. If he moves, we move. Okay? There is no fucking truth that nobody can change. And it's the same if I do regular one hand on the knife and try to punch, or if I work with a 2-on-1, or with any kind of control. I adapt. Okay? Let's say, same situation. He has a knife, okay? And I'm with him. I'm here with him, okay? He has a knife. I'm trying to control him, okay? What do he do? He changed his hand, okay? No, change. Oh! He changed his fucking hand. And so, for some reason, I'm stuck with this magic arm and I cannot move. Because now he has changed and I cannot do anything because some voices told me that I have to keep controlling. Fuck no! Put again, okay? I'm with him, I'm fighting, I know there is a knife. He changed his hand, I can't come. I adapt. Again. He is here, I'm controlling, I'm watching. He changed his hand, he put the knife, okay, boom! And I go inside. I'm watching all the time what happens. I'm feeling him. I'm touching him. I'm controlling him. I'm watching him. Okay? This is fighting. If you think that I just control his arm and then do whatever you want, change it. I'm gonna look to the people on the beach. You don't know nothing about fighting. And I don't like to say this. But this is the proof of some of the objections that I got, because it seems that some people ignore the normal rules of violence of combat. Okay? Then again, we put out the knife of the equation. I'm here and I'm controlling him. Again, before getting to how I get here, it is, again, what the outcome that I expect here, okay? I'm controlling him. Do you think I'm gonna wait for the sunset again? Do you think I'm gonna wait for the music to play with him? No. This is, this control is a time buyer. I'm controlling his action because now it's time for me to switch the paradigm and put my action inside. I got him. This is not a good. I can just feel him and bring him to me. Okay? From this position, if I want, and I move, and I'm here, I gotta take it down. Okay? From this position, I leave it, and I bang, 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 and I hit him. I'm here. I'm controlling, and I start to strike with the knees, or I can just control with this, and I move, and I strike, strike, strike. I got the gun. I take out the gun. Or it was a time. I'm moving. I'm here. 2 seconds. Disengage and get the fucking gun. Okay. I'm not saying with him with the whole the day. So I'm here. Okay. I'm striking. He tries to move. I feel him and I control him. And again, I'm here. Okay. Or from this position, he's trying to move, and I can come to a better control. Okay. Now I got his neck. Maybe I can come. Okay. But it's not guarantee what can happen. I have to fucking fight. Okay? There is no way that I can choose. I hope that I can choose, but real life is not about that. It's totally different. It's adapting, and adaptation is the key to survive. Then we also have the last point, that is why we opt for some controls instead than other controls. Because we cannot choose. It's pretty simple. We cannot choose. There is this idea, and probably I will talk about range in another video. There is this idea that I'm fighting with him in this mid-range, or I'm with him, and then I can decide whatever I want to go, because I'm used to play always in winning scenarios where he punches me, but he doesn't take me. He kicks me, but he doesn't take me. He tries to stab me, but he doesn't take me. There is always this winning scenario. But, you know what? Again, it's not always a winning scenario, okay? We have to deal with failure. We have to deal with the things that can go wrong. And that's what we do. That's why we have tools that can help us to adapt. Okay? They say, I want to go for a better control. Guess what? Me too. I don't want even go to fight. Okay? If I can avoid fighting, I will avoid fighting. If I can go to a better control, I prefer knock him out. Okay? And I'd love to get behind him without getting dirty with my shirt. I would love to get control of his head and do a beautiful choke and finish like Jason Bourne the fight in a few seconds. But it's not that in real life. It doesn't work in that way. When I'm here, and again, I'm not talking about knife or guns or weapons in this situation. I'm here, there's a situation where he can take me by surprise, or he can just punch me. He hit me. Touch me. He touched me, okay? I'm shocked. I'm confused. And what can happen here? If he keep moving, he will overwhelm me with his strikes and I'm out, okay? But if somehow, I'm still here, I close the distance. And to close the distance, I have to grab him and fight with him, okay? Then, the safest spot in a fight, there are two safest spots in a fight. The safest spot, number one, is here. I'm so far that he cannot touch me, okay? The second safest spot is behind me, behind his back, because most of his strikes are limited, because he knows, and there's a switch in his brain that is important. He knows that I'm a threat behind him, and he has to manage totally in a different way the fighting. So this is the safest spot. So if he took me with a punch, and I'm here, I'm fighting with him, and I'm trying to control, and he gives me the opportunity, the safest thing is to get behind him. I can control like this. I can come and maybe boom, 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 boom. I can come with him, and I can control him in this situation. He tries to move, and I got his arm. It doesn't matter if I got his arm, both arms or no arms. It's the situation that dictate my opportunities. I'm behind him, okay. I'm fully recovered, okay, I can fight. I am some way still groggy, I have to control and stay with him and fight, because this is survival. This is fighting for survival. It's not beautiful, it's not an exact science, it's just as worst as we can imagine. It is dirty, it is nasty, it is not technical, it is not good to see, but this is fighting. This is survival. So, again, when you see something, don't judge if you don't know. Be sure to understand correctly what people are showing. Give it a try. Put yourself in discussion. Growth is out of the comfort zone, but don't make it just a fucking meme. Do it. And do it above all if you are a teacher, if you are a trainer, if you are an instructor. We owe it to ourselves and to our students. And then, give it the value that you want. But don't refuse things just because you don't know, or nobody taught you this, okay? It's just about this. Don't spend your time in stupid and unuseful war of religions. There is no dogma in self-defense. Self-defense is do, try, and then use. Or do, try, and don't use. Okay? I hope that this answer enough questions. If you have more questions, we'll be more than happy to answer. And I hope nobody takes this as a declaration of war or anything so far. We love you all. We respect you all. And that's it. I hope that you arrived at this point of the video. And whatever you want to ask, whatever you want to say, is you can hit in us in the comment, and we are all one. Us.